Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joanne Lingerie, and I am here with um, Sara St.John. She's our guest today. Hi, Sara.
Hello
And
there.
I'm going to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss Studio. But before that, I'm going to see if I can't get this to go live um, on my. There we go. Now I just got to get it to share. And I'll be right with you. I'm sorry for the. This, why isn't it sharing? Okay, just want to share it today. Lovely. We'll do it a little bit later. So anyway, I give out that shout out to Chad Chris, Luscious Moss Studio, and he can be contacted online at either Luscious Moss Studio or Chad Chris. He has studios in Edgewood, Washington. He began to start recording drummers and guitarists, and he's now switched for people like me. And so he has produced a considerable amount of recordings. He does it very well. He has the newest systems in, and even has AI to help with the process. I'm going back there on Friday, so if you have any needs, give him a shout out. Okay, Sara, we're on to you now at this point. And I'd like to know a little bit about your background and how you got started in music.
Well, that goes back like it does with a lot of people. It goes back to hello, everybody, first of all. Thank you. And thank you. I appreciate you doing this. Yes. This goes back to, as most people did, they were either in band or they were in chorus in high school. And I was in chorus. I didn't know how to play an instrument at that time. So I went into chorus because they thought I could sing.
Yeah.
And my
my
chorus teacher, she was wonderful. And it wasn't like I stood out from the chorus at all, but she taught me how to harmonize and, where to sit right in a song. And of course I was in musicals and theater. And I moved when I went from high school into college. I was doing theater and musical theater and dramas, and I kind of considered myself a character actress. So then I got the bug for theater, and so I decided, well, I'm going to leave because I was living in Kentucky and Indiana at the time. And then I thought, well, I'll go to New York. I'll just be an actress in New York. Listen to me, Miss Hotshot. So I went to New York, and it wasn't long after I was in New York. I was in off Broadway. 3 offs. Which really doesn't mean that much. But I was doing plays and things that up and coming playwrights were writing scripts and they were trying to get them produced. And so, but I quickly learned that from all the wonderful actors and actresses that came to New York and are in New York now, much better than I would ever be. So I recognized that pretty quickly that I wasn't going to have the real bandwidth for that. Luckily, somebody had taught me 4 chords on a guitar. And I thought, and this was during the folk era. So I was down in Greenwich Village and I was learning folk songs, and I had the fortune of, meeting Judy Collins and Odetta and John Denver and people that were playing down there and trying, either they had gotten their foot in the music business or they were about to explode. So I started playing in Greenwich Village at the Bitter End and different places, and still didn't really know what I was doing, but I was passionate about it. I got hooked. I just got hooked in the music business. Went into studios and recorded things, and I still didn't consider myself to be very good, because I was just learning. I was just
Right.
a kid, here I am like 18, 19, 20 years old in New York City, trying to find my way. And so I ended up staying in music, and I was playing a lot of places in New York. And then the folk era started to change, and there was a change in the music that was being requested in the clubs in New York. And they went into what I call belters. So I'm not a belter, I'm more of a balladeer. So I thought, well, I can't do that, And so as those kind of gigs started to dry up, as people were wanting belters, and of course, musical theater, they have a lot of belters. So I thought, well, I got to do something else. Maybe I need to move someplace else and try myself in a different pond. So I went to Nashville.
I hear that's a good place.
So because
So,
I thought, well,
Sarah, Sarah,
I
Sarah,
want,
Sarah, before you go there, we're at Nashville. We'll come back to that.
okay.
But explain again what a belter is. I've never heard that term.
Well, Linda Ronstadt is a belter,
Okay.
so she'll, it's just a more forceful kind of singing, as opposed to, a sweeter voice or
Yeah,
anything.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's just a stronger, you know, it's almost like
Yeah.
theater, where they can sing to the very back of the theater.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were in Nashville. You moved to Nashville.
So I
Now, what
moved to
happened when
Nashville.
you were there?
Well, I moved to Nashville. I was still young. What was I? 24, I think, 25. And because I went down there because I thought, well, maybe I should, because I'm from Kentucky and Indiana, so of course country music is very, it's in everybody's blood down there. Um, so I thought, well, if I go to Nashville, maybe I could start learning songwriting. And so, which is a great, hotbed. I mean, there's a lot of songwriters in Nashville. I could have gotten intimidated there too, like I was in New York, but I was I was determined. So I did. I knew a lot of people in Nashville, and Nashville Music Row is where everybody hangs out. The musicians in Nashville, and there were lots of uh, well, they call them open mics now, but then they were just songwriter sessions,
Right.
and people would go and they would write songs and they would try them out on people. So I met a lot of people. One of my friends that I knew down there was a fellow by the name of Don Schlitz. And he had written this song that was just, it was the right song. And it was just everything, every word was placed right. The music was right. And I kind of followed how he did things. And he had a song, and it went around Nashville trying to get placed for 5 years.
Oh, oh,
5 years.
wow.
Didn't get it picked up until finally somebody by the name of Kenny Rogers decided he would put it on his album.
Well, wow.
And the song was The Gambler.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was there from the beginning of The Gambler. So, but, it just showed that, and there were other people. I mean, I'm not really a name dropper, but there are a lot of people that got very successful out of Nashville because they learned songwriting down there. And, so I was there for, 3 years, playing and singing and learning how to songwrite and just trying things out. And then I was I was booked for a gig for 6 months in Hawaii. at a hotel there. And so I was getting ready to leave Nashville to go there. What do you know? I met a guy.
Oh no.
Isn't that the way it goes? I never made it to Hawaii.
Oh no.
I never made it there. Had to
Did
tell
you
him I couldn't do it.
did you learn how to songwrite while you were in Nashville?
I did learn how to songwrite while I
All
was in it.
right.
I think I did. I mean, I've been doing
How
it
well
ever
were they
since.
how well were they accepted there?
Quite
Yeah.
well,
Good.
actually. Yeah. And, they would pull me into the studio. I've never had a song that lasted very long on the radio or anything, but it was just a great experience. Anybody that is a songwriter and they want to learn that kind of genre, though Nashville music is kind of different now than what it was then.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
So, but the
Were
elements
you
are
a country singer?
still there. What?
Were you a country I'm sorry to interrupt, but were you a country singer in Nashville?
I was a country singer in Nashville.
Okay.
I kind of blended country and folk together.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, because I'm not really a boot scooting kind of gal, I come from folk roots, so but I kind of blended the two. And then when I met this guy, who did have a song on the radio, um, we became close very quickly. But he was originally from Seattle.
Oh,
So he had to come to Seattle to help his family with some stuff that they were dealing with. So I had a couple of months to kill before I had to go to Hawaii. So he says, "Oh, why don't you come out, to Seattle, and we'll just ride across country together." And I originally was going to stop in LA, ended up going to Seattle. I'm still here. So,
yeah.
and I'm continuing to sing and write songs. And I've put several bands together while I've been here. And I have a band now called Sara Band, which is I'm having a lot of fun with. Because when you find a band, you find a bunch of players, and you all really just you
Jill.
make that sound that really connects.
Yeah.
I'm a happy girl. I'm a very happy girl right now.
Good. Absolutely. So did you ever marry this guy or what happened there?
I did.
I don't usually ask about person's love life, but that was the
I did.
story. I just want to know the end.
I did marry him, and we were married for 38 years. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That
So,
says something right there. I
yeah.
mean, I'm just going to be celebrating on the 8th, my 26th, and I can't even imagine 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep telling people that, I got married when I was 12, but that's not true.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So during the time, I mean, that was quite a story from Nashville to Seattle. When you got to Seattle, did you both continue your music, or did you get married and start a family, or what happened there?
Well, while he was dealing, because he was also a carpenter, isn't that how
Ah,
a lot of musicians are?
yeah.
So he was busy doing carpeting when we first got to Seattle, and I went into playing gigs,
Okay.
So I started with gigs, but he was a musician at heart too, wonderful musician, and he decided that maybe we ought to try doing a duo. So that's exactly what we did, and we played, and we got an agent, and we were playing a lot of gigs, getting paid very, very well, and we did up until my husband has passed away.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
yeah,
No.
I know. So we did that up until about um, 5 years before he passed. So it's we had a long time great band called the Schmoes, which was really fun because it was a cover band, but we would kind of change the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I do that.
And reason why we called ourselves the Schmoes, and we had a fun band, really fun players. We called ourselves the Schmoes because we didn't want anybody to take themselves too seriously in the band.
Yeah.
So everybody's a Schmo.
Everybody's a schmo. I haven't heard that word for a long time. So how long did the schmoes last?
They lasted for about 18, I think, years, 18 years.
Oh, wow, that's a long time for a band to stay together.
Yeah.
Are those people still with you, or did they pass on and go
Uh,
other
they've
or
moved on. Of course, Jim, my husband, has passed.
right. Yeah.
And the rest of them have stopped playing, actually. So that's too bad. So
Oh, yeah.
what did I do?
Yeah. Oh, no. So the, band that you have now what's the difference? Did you have any other bands beside that
I
or
did. I've had several bands. I've had several
okay.
bands. I've had several names. And I had an all-girl band there for a while in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
I had an all-girl band called the Babylons, which was really fun. So,
Yeah. Oh,
and we did original and covers, and but it was very upbeat music. I had a
was
lot
that
of fun. I had a
country?
lot of fun with that.
Was that country or was it kind of a combination of folk or had you moved on to something else by then?
I would say that it was a little bit of, it wasn't much country. I don't do a lot of country right now, though I would love to start a country band again, but this band might kill me if I did that. Uh, but people are known to have more than one band going, and
Yes, I sure
I
do.
have done that. Um, I would say it was more of kind of it was a little more rocky. It was a little bit more rock and roll.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that country got really changed from the time that, 38 years ago. It's changed considerably. And I have, right from the beginning, I'm a country singer. So right from the beginning, I had a real hard time with some of that kind of slow, I mean, yeah, not to say I wasn't pretty and all, but then Willie Nelson, I know, yeah, it's Willie Nelson and I think they were called the Highwaymen or something. Yeah, and they brought in that rockabilly sound, and
They
and
did.
I like that, but I really started liking 80s and 90s music, that country music. And so I'm kind of stuck in that genre after about
Yeah.
2015. After that, I'm not so sure anymore. It's kind of rock and rolly. And I don't mind that. I like the movie music. Dancers like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting story about Willie Nelson and the Highwaymen is Waylon Jennings, who was in that.
Yes. Yes.
My husband built his recording studio,
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
and he also built J.J. Cale's. When
I don't know him. Who's
he
Vijay?
J.J. Cale wrote and recorded the song "Cocaine."
Oh, I know that song. What have I been trying to learn? I mean, I've been trying to play it because it's different than anything
Yeah,
I'm used to. Oh, cool.
yeah.
So that's
So that shows
because
what a good carpenter Jim was.
yeah. But how did you how they were living in California, weren't they? Did he go to
In
California?
Nashville at the time.
Oh, okay. So in Nashville.
Yeah, in Nashville. Like I said, everybody was in Nashville, so it was nothing to, run into people on the street where you would go, wow. And it still
Oh,
happens. It still happens down there.
do you ever regret not staying in Nashville?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I don't think so. The music business is a
Yeah, fluid.
strange business. It's
Yeah.
really a strange business. If you want to be true to your soul, you know,
Yeah.
go where it's going to feel right for you.
Right.
And I went to Nashville to learn something. And when I learned what I thought I needed out of that, it was time to go.
Right. Yeah.
And I just happened to meet a guy.
Well, that sounds like a great love story to me. But
It was a great love story. And our trip across the country, that was our honeymoon before we got married. So it was great.
so, what was I diverged. And I usually don't ask people about their life, their personal life. But what was it about him that first attracted you and distracted you from your music?
Well, he certainly was charming, uh, very talented. I'm always drawn towards musicians anyway.
Yeah.
You know, my heart always goes towards musicians.
Right.
And he was very intelligent. He was a Dartmouth grad. Um,
Yeah.
so I was just drawn to that kind of energy of someone that would, you know,
Yeah.
if you hang around with smart people, you will
Yes.
get smarter.
Yes, indeed.
And I love that, you know. I mean, I read a lot, but there's something about having conversations with people that are a little smarter than you that helps to elevate your own.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, there was a sociological study done about that. And they would have a group of people, they would get groups of people together that were going to be doing something, whatever it was, like music or writing or whatever. And if they were all, like B and C students some days, well, there are those too. Uh, Once they put somebody with an A, um, 4.0
oh yeah,
average or rating, they they actually brought the rest of the people in that group higher. So the overall group was doing better than they would have done if the group had stayed the way it was.
yeah. So
Usually,
that's a lesson for everybody. Just go hang out with smart people.
yeah, I do that all the time. Not some not so smart either, but
Yeah, I do too. So
it's
I try
interesting.
to help them.
Yeah, I don't know about my help, but I I do have this program for people that are, how many times do we go somewhere and start telling people our background? I mean, they're not going to listen to what you learned and how you came up because it's not that time. It's not the time for it.
Yeah,
But when you start revealing yourself, in an interview or whatever, that's noteworthy because I don't think people realize how much experience musicians in this area have,
it's
even
true.
outside this area. I mean, I have some Canadian people I put on here too, and God forbid are very well skilled in Canada, and I'm hoping to broaden it out, but so far that hasn't worked. But and again, it is for local people too, mostly because you get to go and when you want to go to some place, you want to know a little bit about them. You want to hear their music. You want to know that if you go there and you take the time to do it, that they know what they're doing and that you like their music, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a
exactly.
good venue. Anyway, so speaking of that, I think we've reached the time. Um, and so overall, you have? I mean, we talked 38 years, but did you start prior to that in depth? I mean, how long? If somebody asked you, "Have you been a musician?" Would you say you've been in the business?
Well, then I would have to divulge how old I am. Now,
Oh, okay. We won't do
I'm older than I look. Let's just say that. But I mean, I've been doing this for decades, many decades. Obviously, if I was in the folk era in New York, which is in the late '60s, so I've been around.
that. Well, I'm turn 81 in October.
Wow, you don't look 81 at
Thank you.
all. Good for
Music,
you.
music keeps us
Music
young. I
keeps us
think.
young. Music definitely keeps us young, which is wonderful.
The
So,
one thing that I forgot to ask you, Do you play the guitar, rhythm guitar, or are you a lead player? Or
Rhythm
what do you
guitar.
play?
I'm
You
a
what?
rhythm guitar player.
Yeah, okay, so am I. So was your husband
I
a lead?
figured that I would stay. I just never learned how to play lead, but I just figured if I'm a really good rhythm guitar player, then that lets the other musicians have their fun doing whatever
Exactly.
however they do. So
Exactly. We're on the same page there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, what did your husband play? What did he bring?
well, he played lots of instruments. I think the only instrument he didn't play was drums. So he played guitar and he played bass and he played banjo and he played accordion and he didn't play fiddle, but he piano, and he was a really good songwriter. And like I said, he had some songs on the radio, and he was very talented because he learned how to play classical guitar first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
just brings a whole nother flavor into it.
Yes, it does indeed. Yeah. Okay. Well, I that kind of answers that question. So we have some time here. Now I'm going to show you something. Don't panic. I'm going to disappear, but I'm here. Hey, you
Okay.
can't see me, but I'm still here.
Okay. Yes, you're gone.
Yeah. And the screen broadens so that they can see your guitar and perform. You're a little bit low on the camera here. There
How's
you
that?
go. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes. Are you going to play originals or covers?
I'm going to play an original.
Just one?
Uh, 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 how long we got?
No, we got about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. Can you hear that? Can you hear my guitar?
And indeed,
Oh, you can't. Okay.
yes.
So this is a song that I wrote. I have to preface it. I had a room in my house that was a catch-all. A lot of us have rooms that are catch-alls, and they just store things in it. And I got really frustrated with it because I didn't want it to stay that way. So what I did was I said, my husband, who was a wonderful carpenter, I said, I want to clear out that room and I want to make a beach room with sand. And so we put a huge mural up and bamboo on the walls and 2,000 pounds of sand on the ground. And so I had a little beach room. So that was like my vacation room, so that when I would want to get away and couldn't go to Hawaii, which I still haven't been to yet.
You brought Hawaii to you.
I brought Hawaii to me.
So I guess you didn't vacuum clean very often, right?
And I didn't let my cat in there either.
All right. I let you play.
So anyway, I wrote this song in my beach room because I was staring at this mural, which was a mural of the Seychelles on the beach, palm trees and everything. So I wrote a song called Daydream to dream that I was inside that mural. Out on the warm sand where the green palm trees sway, I saw a sailboat floating out on the bay. It looked so easy, just sailing along. I want to have passage and a long ticket home. Inside my daydream is a life full of ease. No woes, no worries, just as free as can be. I'd like to go there where my dreams feel so real, where the sun and the water dance however they feel. Let's sail away meets the sea. Let's sail away to where it's just you and me. It'll feel so easy, just sailing along where the tropical breeze is blowing sweet and so warm. Let's sail away to where the bay meets the sea. Let's sail away to where it's just you and me. It'll feel so easy, just sailing along. I want to have passage and a long ticket home. I want to have passage and a long ticket home. Yes, I want to have passage and a long ticket home. It's my guitar.
Love it. I just got into that. Oh my goodness. I could just see that room. I just saw it all. What a lovely
Perfect.
voice.
Perfect.
Well, you got one more. We have time for that too.
Okay, this is a song. Actually, I really like this song. I didn't write it, but a great story.
Okay.
On the streets of Nashville, a fellow was living on the street, and he was, but he had a little guitar and he was singing songs.
Busking.
He was busking, and but he was really down and out. And a producer happened to walk by and heard him sing this song, and he talked him into coming into the recording studio. He recorded it. He happened to be a producer. It was in town doing something, and he was from Sweden. Took the guy back to Sweden with him, put him in the recording studio there, became a #1 hit in Sweden. So you just never know. You just never know how.
It's such a beautiful story.
So he did it country-wise, but I kind of changed it just because I did that.
And make it yours. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
I made it mine, and if he heard it, he'd probably go, "That's not how I did it." But he's got the spangle suit and I don't. The fancy boots. It's called Down to the River. I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again. I've been running with the devil, no, he's not my friend. I've been learning by the wayside, living in this world of sin. I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again. I'm going down to the country, bury my head in the creek. I'm gonna jump in that water and baptize both of my feet. 'Cause everywhere that I've been running, I'm getting into trouble deep. I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again. Well, help, this old world is gone to hell in a handbasket. If I don't get some resurrection soon, I'm gonna end up in a casket. I'm going down to the river, wash my I've been running with the devil. No, he's not my friend. Running by the wayside, living in this world of sin. I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again. Yes, I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again. I'm going down to the river, wash my soul again.
Wow. I like it. Rosie is my friend, and she's always online here pretty much every day, every Monday. And she said, I love it. And that
Good.
was an amazing story. That man, did he stay? Did he stay in the music
He went,
business?
yeah, he's still performing. A friend of mine who also is from Seattle, that now she lives in Nashville. She's a fiddle player. So she went on tour with him. Her name's Barbara Lamb. She went on tour with him, and he's in Nashville, and he's performing.
What's his name?
Doug Seegers.
Seegers. Huh.
Seegers.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, look that up, because if you see the video, they do have a video showing the producer meeting him on the street and him playing that song, and you'll be able to hear it. He does it different than I do, but it's an amazing story.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Changed his life. Changed his life.
Absolutely. So, well, thank goodness.
Isn't that what music does? It really does change your life. Even if you're not a musician, you hear a song and it takes you somewhere and can really change a perspective, a feeling, whatever. And so music is life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Part of that song I like. I mean, I like the way he changed it. It's not country. I would say that's more pop than country, or maybe blues. But that being said, I like the fact that he was, I don't know if I would say trying to find redemption, but he realized that he needed to change his ways. And the fact that he took it upon himself to go out there to the river, excuse me, to go to the river and baptize himself to clean his soul. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
And Rosie says, I get it. I get it too. But the part that really caught me was, it's a serious song. And given the backstory, it's even more serious in some ways, but joyful too.
Yeah.
But he says, I'm going to the river to wash my feet. I love that. I just
going out in the country to jump in that river and baptize both of my feet. Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Just great.
Yeah. Great visual.
Well, thank you for sharing your music with us. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure when others get on today, they will as well. And we can't always see the comments from YouTube or matured musicians because they don't have that ability. And that's kind of the place where people are used to watching. But a lot of this takes place when they get home. And I want to ask you, do you make your living on music? I mean, are you a full-time musician?
I'm pretty much a full-time musician. I do something else during the day, but most of my income is from music right now. Wow. So I have both my band, Sara Band, which is a 4-piece, guitar, electric, bass, and drums.
Wow.
Notice I always go drums because they're always behind you. And
yeah, most of the time.
But my lead guitar player and I are also a duo, and all of us sing. But my lead guitar player and I also are a duo. And we just go right now by because we haven't come up with a clever name. And people get mad at me because I've been in so many bands and I've changed my name so many times, the band names. But they've all said, you need to keep your name in the band name so we know how to find you. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So Steve and I, we're just Sara St.John and Steve Wolfstone, and so we play wineries and breweries
Yeah.
and special events and things like that. And you can go on sarahstjohnmusic.com and you can see my website and my calendar of where we're playing and whether it's the band or it's the duo.
Yeah, I put that on. I put it on Facebook. I put it on Facebook and uh, my
Oh,
page,
good.
Country Hot. So it is there for them to find. I made sure it was easy. Here's some great stuff on there. I like it.
I am leaving for Europe in
Oh,
September, and I'm going to
sing
be gone.
on tour?
Not really, though. There is a couple of places that are interested in that I might be able to play in, and of course, one of my bucket lists is to go and sing in a pub in Dublin,
Oh,
which I am going to Dublin.
yes. There is a
So,
group. There's a group that's been interviewed here, and I've kept in touch with them. I have this beautiful Epiphone guitar with a dove on it. It's the Epiphone Dove Pro. It's white. It's very amazing. And this young lady that sings, her name is Emma on Dublin Abbey. She bought a guitar like mine. I've been teasing her. Oh, that's where my guitar went. I thought I lost it. But anyway, they went to Dublin. They start out with Irish music and ended up
yes,
with
I know. I do know that band.
oh,
Yeah,
we do.
yeah. Rick was just at my. I also produce some of the Seattle Peace concerts that happen every summer in the
Yeah,
parks.
yeah.
And Rick was, who's in Dublin Abbey. He was one of my performers um, last Sunday at that particular Peace concert.
Yeah,
I'm
great.
sure we know all the same people. We just
Yeah,
the circles just
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, that's great. And I wish you all the luck in the world. You have to, I have matured musicians where I like people to post their gigs. So after we're done here and you any gig that you want to post, you could just go on there and put it in there. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So do let
Well,
us
my
know.
updated calendar is on there. I have a wonderful friend that is much more tech savvy than I am, and so she kind of keeps my website honest.
Right. I have one too. And she's kind of pricey. I mean, every time I ask her to do something, it's an arm and a leg, but she's worth every penny.
And I
And
know you do open mics, and I keep wanting to come to wherever you're doing
yeah,
one. So you have
yeah.
to keep me posted on where you are.
What I do on my Facebook page, if you go to and just put in the search Joanne Lingerie or Joy Lingerie, I believe, on Facebook, uh, I post, and it also shows up on this channel, Country Hot Music. It does show my schedule of where I go every week.
Oh, good.
I usually put in Saturday. Sundays, I'm usually in Duval at the Twin Dragon. And
Hmm.
Tuesday, Mondays I give interviews, and then Tuesdays I go to the Oxford with Jerry Batista from 6 to 9.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Wednesdays kind of open. I go to Docks. I go to a bookstore called the Sky Bookstore in I want to say Sultan, but yeah, I think it is Sultan. I'm not sure. There's two of them, Gold
Yeah.
Bar and Sultan, and I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
And I go to the Malpi Pizza on Thursday. I keep wanting to get to other places. I sometimes on Wednesday it's a little further out, a little harder to get to because my husband's work. But Billy Shoe's quite the guitarist. I don't know if he's from South End, and he has a jam 6 to 9 at Stockton's in Maple Valley.
Ah,
Yeah, so that is on my Facebook page if you want to know where I'm going to be that week. Sometimes
yeah.
I add in, sometimes I just go there and don't tell anybody. So, but at any rate, yeah, I think I don't really, I've got a gig coming up, and I don't really do a lot of them, a couple a year. It's about all I can handle. But I do want to get into wineries or breweries. But unfortunately, my skills at rhythm guitar are not as developed as yours.
Oh,
I mean, I do best I can, but I always need somebody to fill in because I learned to play rhythm with the band. And the lead's going to do his thing, right? Bass player's going to do his blah,
Exactly.
blah, blah. And so I was just playing straight rhythm, and then that's country, some rock,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and we had a variety band, so we had everything. But I still need that extra person, and they're kind of hard to find. You obviously have a lot of talent. I'm working on it, and I like to get there, but I wouldn't want to do more than a 2 hour gig or three at the very most. And so I think that's been kind of holding me back. There are people that'll play, but some of the best musicians around here are two, three bands. They're gone every night of the week.
Yeah.
So trying to connect with them is very difficult. Do you
Yeah.
know Doug McGrew by any chance?
Who says the
Doug,
name again?
Doug McGrew? He's a drummer.
No.
Oh, he's up here in the north end. Yeah, he runs the jam in Twin Dragon. So if I need a drummer, I'm usually pulling him off. And Lynn Sorensen was a bass player for Bad Company for a while, and I grabbed him too. So
Excellent. Excellent.
and there's a really good lead. He works in two bands now. One is the Hot Rodsters with Rodney Landert. He's out of Lake Stevens. He's a really good guy with the fiddle, and he also works with Rebel Canyon. He's been working with them this summer, and they're kind of also a higher level band. So he plays great lead guitar, so I usually grab him when I can.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But that's where I'm at. I'm not really out there gigging. I keep hoping to get better. I don't know how many years I'm going to hope to get better because I had my own band for 15 years, from 2000 to 2015. And then I went to the volunteer senior band out of Bothell. And from there, I said, oh, rats, I want to produce my music. I want enough time to do it. And I've been doing that ever since COVID started. So I go to jams instead and accept gigs that are paying what I want to get for my people. And that's pretty hard around here unless you're in a casino. And I take it out of my own pocket and give these guys this money if they're not paying, and I accept it. So I expect $200 for every member of my band, and you're a pretty good example of the reason I do that. When you hire good musicians who have 40 some years of experience and they know what they're doing, and they're very well educated in the instruments that they use, they shouldn't be getting less than that. And
Great.
I know clubs are in a hard place and they can't really afford to pay it, but too bad. I mean, I'm not I'm not playing a casino anytime soon to get that kind of money. So I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, and eventually they'll realize that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you, girl.
So we have about 15 minutes, not quite. Um, And I do want to know what's coming up, where to find your calendar. I know where it is, but I want to tell my audience,
Well,
my listeners, where it is,
yeah, I'm playing at
and a little bit more
I'm
about what
playing
you
at
just did.
yeah, I'm going to be playing at DeLille Winery, which is in Woodinville. Very
Oh,
nice winery and very
where's
fine.
it? Is it Woodinville?
So,
Is it downtown or is it on the outskirts?
it's not downtown proper, so it's on the outskirts.
Okay,
Um,
I'll find it.
yeah, you'll find it, DeLille. So I'm playing there on Friday, and then Snohomish. I'm coming to Snohomish
Yes,
on Sunday. I'm
yeah.
I'm playing the Chai Summer Festival, which is outdoors
Yeah.
somewhere in Snohomish. Um, and then I'll be in the following weekend on the 17th. I'll be at 192 Brewing Company with my full band.
Oh, and what day of the week is it?
That's a Saturday, I think.
Saturday. Is it a jam or is it a gig?
I don't know. It's a show.
Okay.
Sarah's show.
All right, I know. I go there they have a jam on Sundays, I
They have a
believe.
jam on Sundays,
Early
yeah, which is
afternoon, yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
I think Andy White Wing was.
Yeah. So yeah, and then and then you can go on my website. I'm doing a couple of private parties, and I'm kind of really busy in August because I'm leaving in September for Europe, and
Yes.
I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks. So I'm going to absorb what I can and music and stuff from over there, and probably throw my 2 cents in somewhere.
Yes.
And then when I come back, I'm planning on going back in the recording studio because it's time for me to put something new out.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, good luck with all that. That sounds exciting. So,
Keeping busy, keeping busy.
absolutely. And I'm hopefully I can get to one of these gigs. I mean, of all the people that I've interviewed over the 3 years, if I had time, I'd have to have three or four. I mean, to get to everybody's gig.
I know.
But every now and then I get lucky, and I say, "Oh, I can do that," and I go. What
Yeah,
is your
sometimes
advice?
it's exhausting just to try to go and see
Yeah,
everybody play,
yeah, oh,
whether
absolutely
it's at the Madison or the Oxford or
right.
wherever,
Right.
south or north. And I mean, but there's so many good musicians out there playing, and it's wonderful, and it's inspirational for me just to go out and watch them. You know,
Absolutely. You know, that was something that about Nashville. I had a friend from there, she's a country singer, Jessica Lynn Whitty, and she was telling me about Nashville. And you know, I never had the urge to go there. It just wasn't something I wanted to do. And more I hear about Nashville, less I want to go. But I like the vibe in Seattle of all the music we've got here. Really good, and it doesn't matter what kind it is. It's just
yeah,
really
there's
good
so
music.
many different kinds.
Brilliant people here, just brilliant.
Yeah,
And I like the vibe when I record. It's I don't know what it is. I mean, Chad Christ plays for a big band called Heart by Heart, who's an offshoot of Heart.
I remember. Yeah,
And he's their lead, and you know he helps me. He does the music. He does all the playing for me, and on these recordings, and I like the vibe. He's not necessarily a country singer, but he has done country. But it's just different here, and it doesn't have that southern draw. It's not all about liquor, like your love life or your dog or your pickup truck, you
right,
know.
exactly.
And it's very eclectic, and I like that about Seattle, and I just can't even imagine leaving here and going to record someplace like that.
Well, nice place to visit. You can always go and visit.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to get around.
I
Spring
remember, I
chicken.
remember last time I went to visit Nashville because I still have friends down there, musicians, friends, and stuff.
Yes.
And when you walk down the main drag in downtown Nashville, where all the clubs are, every doorway, it's almost like New Orleans. Just you can walk 6 feet and there's another band playing, and they're just as good as the one before. And then you walk 6 feet to the next doorway, and they're
Exciting.
and it's so wonderful. So
How often do you run into?
music centers like Nashville and Memphis and New Orleans, they just they it's just wonderful that there are outlets like that for people to go and play, learn their craft.
How often do you run into celebrities there?
In Nashville,
Yeah,
a lot.
a lot. That'd be so exciting. So
When I
what?
was when I was in New York, of course you run into a lot of people there too. Um, One of my first times I played, which was, they don't call them open mics then, they called them hootenannies.
Ah, great. That's country.
That's country, but it was New York, and they called them hootenannies at the time, and it was at the bitter end, and I got up to play, and then this guy followed me, and I thought, well, he's really good. He's going to go somewhere. It was John Denver.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he did. I went into the ocean.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I
I'm
mean,
a fan.
I mean, they're just people have those kind of stories all the time, people
Yeah.
that they run
Wow.
into or just happen to be around. One of my best friends was in the Tokens, which in New York, and and they recorded "The Lion Sleeps at Night," so they were, it just happens, when you're in the
Yeah.
music business, you just run into people.
Well, if I ever have enough money to go there, I'll try. But I won't record there, but I would love to go there.
Yeah,
That in Branson, I don't know much about them, but I think that's probably more like where I'm at, Branson, rather than Nashville. But maybe I could get both places. We'll see, God willing.
maybe, maybe,
So
never
one of the
know.
things I wanted to ask you, three questions, and we don't have much time. Got 5 minutes.
Okay.
What was the best time you ever had that made you feel like this is what you ought to be doing? And what's the worst time you ever had? And then some final words of advice.
Wow. So the best
All within 5 minutes.
the best time I've ever had playing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Asking?
yes, your best time. That just gave you that moment, that aha moment that said, "Wow, this is what I should be doing." Doesn't matter where or when it happened, or maybe there's lots of moments.
I did happen to have a quick little, brief little performance at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh gosh,
You know,
exciting!
it's like the mother church of country music.
Yes.
So it was just something that happened, and I was there, and they put me on the little circle on the stage, and there I was, and so I
Oh,
sang
nice.
"Crazy,"
Oh,
which
crazy.
I do really a good job on "Crazy,"
Oh,
and so I'd say that was really quite a momentous moment for me. The worst, oh, some nights on stage if I have too much scotch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know if I can really think of a bad, bad gig or a bad moment that I've had. So well, I sang once for uh, Judy Collins I lived in an apartment with some other people, and Judy Collins was good friends with another gal that lived in the apartment. So she used to come over for dinner. And I was so green. I was so green. But I thought I'd play for Judy and let her know just how hot stuff I am. I think that was the worst
oh
because
no.
I think that was the worst. I was
What,
really green.
was she not supportive or?
She was very supportive. She was very nice. She introduced me to Detta and some other people, and you know, and I'm really sorry I never met John Prine because he was running
Oh
around in the
no.
same kind of circles I was, and I never got to meet him because I probably would have been in love with him. Um, and advice, what would I do? Just do what makes your heart feel good, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be music. Just be kind to yourself. As I have a t-shirt that says, if you can be anything, be kind. And if you're kind and if you just lead with your heart, it will really treat you well.
Absolutely. I agree. So I know that you got a lot of stories and a lot of things that we didn't get to today. And there's some people an hour just isn't long enough. So I'm hoping sometime in the future, not too long, usually about 6 months to a year, I try to get people to come back and update us. And I
Oh,
hope
I'd
you'll
love to
do
come
that.
back. I'd love to come back. That'd be
Great.
great. Yeah.
Love to
Thank you
have
for
you.
having me. I appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome. It was most enjoyable, Sarah. I'm glad I met you. I had some problems trying to get your stuff into my system to work, but we got it figured out between us.
Yes.
All right,
Perfect.
girl.
Perfect.
Well, with that, I do want to say again a million thanks. I'll send you the link to the YouTube. You can use it anywhere you want. If you have a electronic press kit, that's a good place
Yeah,
sometimes to
I'll
use.
put it up there. And I've had several people already ask me, when can we see it? How can we see? because,
It will live on YouTube. So when I put it out there, it'll stay there
oh boy,
forever.
I'm glad I didn't swear.
I got a cuss jar now. I take that with me, and all these musicians are playing. Last night I got Lynn Sorensen. He had to pay me $1. It started out $5, but he wheedled it. Every time I said a swear like hell or damn, he made me pay back. So I ended up with $1.
That's good.
All right, girl. Do post some mature musicians so we can follow you. love you, and you take care. I'll see you down
Thank
the
you.
road. All right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Love your
Ken.
music.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Well, that's it for me. I have another person coming up next Monday. Watch for the advertisements, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy his music and his story. Thank you, everybody, for listening today, and I'll see you down the road. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, Rosie.